If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over. Move forward.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Dramatic video shows the moment the New York City Police Department shoot a man holding a large knife charging at them. We continue to follow this story, but the brand new socialist mayor of the city, Mamdani, he wants to send social workers to such calls instead. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. But first, we're beginning with Savannah Guthrie, the NBC television host. Guthrie and her siblings, in her first appearance on camera, at least for Savannah, pleading for their missing mom, Nancy, her return, 84 years old, in an emotional video telling potential kidnappers, we are ready to talk.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
Absolutely a heartbreaking situation. Heart-pounding. Body cam NYPD footage shows the moment an NYPD officer shot and wounded a mentally ill, schizophrenic 22-year-old man who lunged at the cop with a knife inside a Queens home just last week. The January 26 police shooting of the schizophrenic man has prompted backlash from the family. Let me stop here. You can't have it both ways. You can't call for emergency services to transport him to the hospital because he's breaking glass against a wall. And then the police respond. Unfortunately, these things happen. Nobody wants their loved one to be shot. It's just a bad situation all the way around the board here. And so, Mamdani, he wants to, through his Department of Community Safety, he wants to send social workers to deal with mental health crises. So you see on the video, the moment the cops walk through the door, The young man loses it, becomes agitated, starts coming at them with a large knife. A family member, I think it's his mom, tries to stop him. She could have been stabbed. And you're about to hear the latest body cam video that was officially released as of Tuesday morning. And it all started with a 911 call from a female relative who requested, quote, involuntary transfer. So how do you get someone to go to the hospital? They don't want to take their medication. How do you get them to go when they don't want to go? You either reason with them, that was not working in this case, or you're forced to call the NYPD. A social worker is not going to be able to de-escalate that situation. So the family initially asked for only EMS, not police, referring to a previous time that officers responded to a call involving the young man who has a history of mental issues. And according to a relative, they're stating that the last time when something like this happened, they called for the cops, and the cops said they should have called for an ambulance instead. Well, we'll give you the reaction of the PBA, the union for the officers involved. And what's very insulting in this matter is the mayor of the city, the socialist mayor, went to visit the shot young man and his family. When, Mr. Mayor, you should have been visiting your police officers. This is the full 911 audio.
How you doing?
Are you called?
You called?
Yes.
You coming?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Baba, no!
Hey! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife. Move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Absolutely horrible situation. And the mayor, the socialist mayor, goes to visit the wounded young man and his family, not the NYPD officers. This guy has got to go, Mamdani. He has got to go as a leader, the mayor of the city of New York. The PBA, Patrick Hendry, the president, says in a statement that the officers involved did their job professionally and with restraint. You clearly hear it in the video. Under terrible circumstances. He goes on to say the video makes it clear that these police officers walked into an unpredictable situation, fast-moving and dangerous situation. There was no time or space for them to de-escalate the situation before they were forced to act. If you see the size of this large knife, ooh, and there was no, they literally walked in the door and this is what they encountered. 800-848-9222. We'll get to President Trump talking to NBC News just a few hours ago and the 700 ICE officers that have been pulled out of Minneapolis to try and de-escalate the tension there. But let's start with your telephone calls. I want to begin with line 3, Liz in Florida. Liz, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Listening to what you just said, Mamdani clearly needs help. He's so confused, and perhaps he needs a social worker or a psychiatrist for
Good
himself.
point.
But what I wanted to say is that I have a lot of friends who are social workers, and I spoke to several of them, and they told me that there is no way that they would put themselves in danger. And one of them told me that, she lives in Manhattan, that there's a 24/7 crisis team that's was put in place by Adams. And that's for like somebody who's, let's say, on a bridge wanting to jump. So they would get the social worker to come with a doctor or a nurse accompanied by a police officer, okay? But none of them, with what he's proposing, would dare to go out to an unknown situation because there could be danger lurking. And, they're just not equipped and they're not trained for this type of job. So especially since there's way too many dangerous mentally ill people out there.
Well, you see in the video, Liz, and it's available online, they literally walk through the door. And the moment that the schizophrenic man sees them, he starts lunging at them with the knife, a large kitchen knife. So, you tell me, Liz, what are they supposed to do? Young man, as he's coming, this guy is big, and he's coming towards them. Aggressive move, aggressive action. Now, they've got to say, this guy sees the uniform. He's got to be out of his mind to come at us. The family member tries to grab him. I believe it's the mother, and he blows past her. So what are these officers to do? This is not Hollywood. Are they supposed to take a knife in the neck? What are they supposed to do?
No, they have to defend themselves. And sending social workers is just putting them in harm's way. So I don't even know what social worker is going to want to go and put themselves in danger. Because, they know that these mentally ill people can do anything. They can get a knife, which this person did. They can take anything to harm, a screwdriver, glass, anything. Scary.
And what do you make, before I go on to some of the other calls, because frankly it makes me want to throw up, that the mayor of New York City went to visit the wounded man and his family and not the NYPD officers?
Like I started to say, Mamdani is extremely confused and he needs help. So he should be seen by somebody, a psychiatrist, somebody. That's what I think. Anybody running for office should get a clean bill of mental health before they start.
Well, Liz, thank you for the wonderful call, and I agree with your social worker friends. They're not apt or trained to handle a situation like this. I think about the social worker outside of Peekskill, and thank you, Liz, for the call. She goes to visit one of her clients. By mistake, she knocks on the wrong door. It's a home visit. This guy snaps, large construction boots on, stomps her literally to death, stomping her in her body, stomping on her head. He killed her right there and then. Dead. She knocked on the wrong door. People make mistakes. Now, if there was an officer accompanying her, and obviously in that situation, you can't send a police officer to everyone, but this would have never, ever happened. So can you imagine that woman's position? Why is this man stomping on me like this? I don't even know this man. And then he stomps on her head until she's unconscious, and he kills her right there on the spot. Dominic Carter here with you. Time for a break, and we are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.
now. From New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
In a moment, we're continuing with your telephone calls. Meanwhile, another story we are following this hour, de-escalation in Minnesota. Hopefully, the president pulling 700 federal agents away from Minneapolis.
That big change on immigration, 700 officers leaving Minneapolis. Did that come from you?
Yes, it did. But it didn't come from me because I just wanted to do it. We have we are waiting for them to release prisoners, give us the murderers that they're holding, and all of the bad people, drug dealers, all of the bad people. We allowed in our country, I say 25 million people with an open border policy for 4 years under Biden and that group, the auto pen group, I call them. We allowed to come into our country people the likes of which no country would accept. And we're getting them out. Yeah. But we've gotten a lot of them out. So crime now in Minnesota, crime now in Minneapolis is down. Crime in all cities is down. And you know why it's down? It's down because of us. It's down in Chicago by 25%, despite the fact that we are always dealing with these people, and they happen to be Democrats,
right. Speaking of
that don't know anything about crime prevention.
And as I have often said, President Trump is always playing a game of chess and not checkers.
Speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor, spoke to them, had great conversations with them, and then I see them ranting and raving out there, literally as though a call wasn't made.
Let's go back to your telephone calls. You want to talk about the situation with the mentally ill man, the schizophrenic man in Queens, New York. Police forced to open fire. The mayor goes to visit the man and his family, not the NYPD officers. Let's go to line 3, Pam in New Jersey. Good morning, Pam. What's on your mind?
Oh, hi, Dominic. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they couldn't use a taser. Because that, I understand. He would have had to drop the knife. It would just, that's,
Pam,
that
Pam,
I
know you mean well. I know you mean well. But are you serious?
Well, only because I used to watch a lot of court TV, and they used to have a lot of films.
Right,
and
right. You used to watch a lot of court TV. Pam, with all due respect, that's exactly what I thought where you were going with this. You do. I say this night after night, folks. We do understand this is not Hollywood, right? And let me just say this. And Pam, I understand your heart is in the right.
Court TV, Hollywood.
Okay.
These were really
Oftentimes, court TV is Hollywood. They sensationalize it to get viewers. Otherwise, nobody would watch it. Yes.
Really?
Yes. But let me just finish.
Then
let me just finish. This is a very. I mean. Okay. So. I see on my social media, someone said, why didn't they use the bolo wrap, right? I'm very familiar with the bolo wrap. The city of Yonkers, New York, brought me in to the emergency services, as well as the NYPD, and they showed me the bolo wrap. That's where they shoot, and it wraps around the arms real quick. Pam, now let me tell you why the taser would be the absolute worst thing you can do. The taser does not work 100% of the time. Oftentimes, when somebody is mentally ill, they have the strength of an ox. And if you miss, or the taser, some people, the taser gets them more enraged. So the officer literally didn't have enough time. That's how close this guy was. This is not Hollywood. If he tried to use a taser, I guarantee you, if you want to hold, Pam, I'll give you the option to hold. I've got to do another short segment, then I'll come back to you. But this is not Hollywood. There was no time for that. If that officer tried to use a taser and missed, or if it didn't stop this young man, we would be planning that officer's funeral right now. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. I want to go to Pam again, line 3 in New Jersey, because she didn't get to finish her say. Pam, I'm going to give you the floor in just 10 seconds. The reason why I said you can't believe everything that you see on court TV is for the following. One, you're making an assumption that the announcer is accurately summarizing what happened in the courtroom. oftentimes those announcers are wrong. Number two, Pam, why do you think judges, when they have the option, bar cameras in their courtroom? Because once you bring in the cameras, it's a brand new ball game. Lawyers are playing to the cameras. Lawyers are trying to get their next client. And so they will do dramatic things that they wouldn't necessarily do if the cameras were not there. Ask yourself this, Pam, when you're watching court TV, why do many judges bar cameras when they have the option in their courtroom? If it's a federal trial, that's the law. You can't bring in a video camera or put it, you can't do actual testimony on TV. But go ahead, Pam. Go ahead with your point, please.
No, it was just the reason I asked that was because I don't remember her name. She was a female cop, and it was a car situation.
Dante Wright of Minneapolis. He goes to drive off. But you're proving my point. But go ahead.
No, but she said taser, and use her gun. I thought that was real. I didn't look.
No, that is real. But you're proving my point,
okay.
And here's how you're proving my point. That officer, She did everything right, apologized to the family, and went to jail. She made the mistake. That officer, she thought she was reaching for her taser because Dante Wright drove off, and instead she reached for her gun and used deadly force. So this is what I mean, folks. And maybe I have a better understanding because law enforcement has worked with me, the NYPD, the Yonkers PD, Yonkers bringing me in, the city of Yonkers, the fourth largest city in New York State, bringing me to the emergency services division, showing me all the devices that they have. I've been brought into internal affairs. Folks, they put cameras in places you would have no idea. to catch corruption, alleged corruption amongst police officers, but also the NYPD. And what you're leaving out of this is what I mean by Hollywood. You're saying, well, why didn't he just reach for his taser and stop the young man? You're ignoring the adrenaline factor. So the NYPD, they have a situation house, and they put me in the house. And every time, Matt Blaze, I screwed up and shot the wrong person because people don't understand how much adrenaline kicks in. So these officers walk through the door, and you've got a towering young man who's schizophrenic now blowing past a family member to get to you, and he's holding up a knife. And so someone else said on my social media, why didn't they use a bolo wrap, right? Now, a bolo wrap is when you shoot and it almost like Batman, it wraps a rope around your arms, right, to stop you from hurting yourself or hurting others. But if the young man already has one arm up holding the knife, how is a bolo wrap going to stop him? What do you make? People, they watch TV and why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? What do you say, Matt Blaze?
It's like it's the Monday morning quarterbacking.
Absolutely.
This is a split-second thing that happens. They walk in, they know there's some sort of domestic disturbance. Then the guy lunges for a knife. You hear them tell him multiple times, drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife. And I'm sure their guns are out at that point. And then he's not dropping the knife. Now he's going toward them with the knife. So what does it come down to? Him or me? And he's getting shot. Simple. It's a split-second decision. Totally justifiable. Totally justifiable. So you want to sit there and go, now? Oh, they should have used a taser. And like you said, somebody who's in that state, they have this like unmanly, inhuman strength that the taser doesn't affect them. So now what?
Right, and he's already coming towards you.
Right, now they're going to get
and the taser
attacked.
doesn't stop him. It only enrages him more. Now what?
Right, now they're going to get stabbed, possibly. You cannot sit there and second guess what the officers did on the scene because it's a split-second decision. They didn't sit there and go, all right, we know this guy's going to come at us with a knife.
Right.
We better be ready. Let me make sure I got my taser out.
Right.
Or let me make sure I got something to block. You go over here and I'll go over there so he won't. No. They went in. The guy had a knife, dropped the knife. He didn't drop the knife. He got shot. It's as simple as that.
And they were very professional. They didn't kill him. He's alive.
Yeah.
He's alive.
That's right.
So
it wasn't.
Thank you so much, Matt Blaze. And I see your calls. I'm going right back to them. I'm going to John in Reno in just a second. So when I started in journalism, folks, right, straight out of grad school, I was assigned to cover the Eleanor Bumpurs trial at the Bronx courthouse. And it was rough. It was rough. I'm brand new. I don't know anything. Eleanor Bumpurs was an African-American grandmother where mental ill. This is where all this stuff started from, going back to the Eleanor Bumpurs case in the 80s. And Eleanor Bumpurs was going to be evicted for not paying her rent. And they call the police, and the officer goes inside, and he was charged with her death, and he was acquitted, as he should have been. And apparently he falls somehow, and she's holding a large knife over him. And he was forced to use deadly force. As a result of the Eleanor Bumpurs case, all types of provisions were put into play of how to deal with mentally ill people, and this is a national thing. In terms of they have like the stun guns, they have the shields, but all of that is under the assumption, this is not Hollywood, that they have time to get the special unit in place. As Matt Blaze just said, the officers walk through the door. 1 minute they're talking to each other. 10 seconds later, a large guy is coming at them, blowing past a family member with a butcher knife in his hand. And when you consider a situation like that, when you consider the Eleanor Bumpurs case, you know, that at least in New York City, they have rules now in place where they have special units to deal with the mentally ill people. A sergeant is called on scene, but that's assuming that you have time to get people in place. This went down in a matter of seconds, and still the officer did not use deadly force. And he could have legally, because the one thing that I've learned from the NYPD and being so close to police departments, with them putting me through a little bit of their training for a day or two at a time, they are trained. That's why didn't you shoot them in the arm? They don't shoot in the arm because you can miss, or the leg. They are trained to shoot for the largest mass of body, that center mass. And, you know, I guess the stomach area, the chest area. And this young man is alive. He's alive. But it's disgusting what Mamdani did, going to visit him and his family and not the police officers. Line 4, John in Reno. Good morning, John. What's on your mind?
Dominic, here's the bottom line. In some cases, the social workers, being the first responders, may de-escalate the situation. In the majority of cases, they will not de-escalate it, and the risk to death or injury to first responders and family members in the household is greatly increased. The social worker's idea is a loser. You're right.
Yeah, I just, you know, so let's say, John, a social worker had responded to this call, for argument's sake. The young man starts lunging at the social worker with a large butcher knife, holding it almost over his head. What happens at that point?
You know, the social worker can be stabbed. The social worker can be taken hostage. Valuable time is wasted from the police making contact with the situation, who have the levels of force necessary to ensure that there are no more victims.
John, thank you for the call. John calling from Reno, Nevada. Let's go to line 3. Michael in Queens. Michael, what's on your mind?
Yes, good evening, Dominic. Matt Blaze said it best, ideally, Monday morning quarterback. If that individual would have gone ahead and stabbed one of the officers, or even the parents that were the individuality of that individual's parents, if they had been in a situation to actually have been stabbed because he did not put the knife down, then what would be the commentary about the lack of effort from the police? The police would justify it. You hear them clearly yelling it out. You hear them clearly stating to drop the knife. It's justified. Mandami's plan to go ahead and only put workers in position of the police, not aided to the police, but in work added toward the police, but in replacement, is foolish. It is a detriment and a disaster to people, including those who were involved in the as well as anyone else who arrives on the scene. I think it's a ridiculous situation and states again what I had said before. It's designed to fail, and fail it will. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, Michael, for the call and mentioning Mamdani, right? So he wants to look cute. So he puts on his nice jackets to make sure they look good. He's the mayor of New York City. He wants to look good. His social media videos, that's important to him, looking good. He wanted to be a rapper. He wanted to be the next Jay-Z. He wants to look good. So as a result of the mayor looking good, cute, with his jackets on, the New York Times writes about his jackets, his sports jackets that he wears. He visits the young man that was holding the knife and his family, and the cops are left holding the bag. But Mamdani, he looks cute. And in the meantime, now 17 people that were homeless, died out in the cold. Most of them because of the cold weather. And Mamdani came into office and said, no, leave the homeless encampments. Let them be. The socialist point of view. And so I guess the compassionate, and I'm being sarcastic, point of view, as far as the mayor goes, let them be. Okay, you let them be, Mr. Mayor, and 17 people are dead. So now what? The mayor discussing this with WNBC TV.
The brutal nature of this cold made you rethink what involuntary removals are. You know, I've long said that it should be a last resort. It's still a tool that is used by the city. We have thus far involuntarily transported 18 New Yorkers, city workers across agency and department who have been doing this kind of outreach. What they've been able to do is get more than 980 placements into safe haven sites and shelters since January 19th. That's been critical in protecting people. But in good weather, it's one thing if someone says, I'm fine on this park bench, I'm fine on this sidewalk. It's been so cold. Has it made you rethink leaving someone the dignity to decide for themselves? If it's as cold as it's supposed to be this coming weekend, would you be more aggressive about involuntary removal?
I think it's incredibly cold outside. These conditions are the likes of which the city has not seen for many, many years. This has already been one of the coldest stretches in New York City history. And I also rely on a clinician's determination on whether or not they deem someone to be a threat to themselves or to others. If they do, then those are New Yorkers that are brought inside regardless of their own volition.
You haven't advised people err on the side of caution this time.
This is the exact same policy that even the prior administration had in place as it pertained to involuntary confinement. We're continuing that policy of relying on a clinician's determination.
So now he's changing his tune. Now he's going to Eric Adams, the last mayor's approach of remove them off the street when it's too cold. But 17 people are dead. But none of that matters, Mr. Mayor, because you look cute in your jacket. This guy needs to be removed from office. Governor Hochul needs to remove him. Never going to happen. It's an election year. And Mamdani is expected to endorse her finally this week. The state Democratic Convention, New York State, is Friday, I believe, in Syracuse. That's where I went to grad school, up in Syracuse, New York, where it's cold in central New York. So Mamdani's going to endorse her. Do you think that she's going to remove him from office? Absolutely not. It is a done deal. The governor is going to look the other way. 17 people, homeless, they can't stand up for themselves. We are supposed to protect them. I'm not being a bleeding heart liberal. People like me are supposed to protect them because they can't protect themselves. They can't speak up for themselves. 17 are dead. But the mayor looks good in his jackets when the New York Times does a profile on him. That's the only thing that counts, whether or not he looks good. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. I have never been to Western Connecticut, but I am coming. I will be there Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday, talking to the Republican Town Committee. If you live in the Connecticut area, come on out, folks. I'll be there with my family. That's this coming Tuesday night, in between the two live shows that we do, 3 p.m. Eastern and midnight. But I'm coming to Western Connecticut Tuesday night. Let's continue with your calls. Paul in Connecticut, what's on your mind, sir?
Hi, good morning, Dominic. To deal with mentally ill people, if the social worker idea would fly at all, I'd say they need about 5 of them to be able to grab the person and then maybe have body cameras that would go to an office where there's an APRN or a doctor, and they could medicate the people on the spot.
So Paul, so wait. So 5 women, let's assume it's 5 women in this case. They're supposed to grab the mentally ill person and subdue them even though they have the strength of an ox?
Well, if they have a shot, in the hospital they have shots that they can give the person.
So now you're involving a nurse. A social worker cannot give someone a shot. They would be sued for millions of dollars. So now you want 5 social workers and a nurse. I want to make sure I understand you correctly.
Yes.
That will never fly.
It goes by body cam to an APRN that could approve it on the spot.
Paul, with love, my friend, your plan is in La La Land. So you're going to take 5 people. Thank you for the call, Paul. You're going to take 5 people. Let's say you have 2 men there. Who wants to get hurt? Who wants to tussle and go to the ground with somebody that's mentally ill? And if they have a knife, you could have 10 people. Who's going to be the first one to grab them? And then you still have to have a nurse to inject the shot. And I'm sure that there are all types of laws before you can use such a shot. So that will never ever fly. Let's go to Roberta, line 4, Staten Island. What's on your mind, young lady?
The latest in Minneapolis. It seems like the inmates are running the asylum. They're stopping people in their cars and checking their licenses to see if.
When you say they, wait. When you say they, you didn't define who they is.
Oh, okay, the protesters.
I haven't seen that. You've seen this, that protesters are stopping people and demanding their ID?
It's been in the news. It's on the news. They stop people in their cars.
Okay, wait. Roberta, what news outlet have you seen this on?
It's been on your on the news, on your news show.
I don't care what station you heard it on until you know definitively. I'm just saying that I haven't seen that. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know. But what's your point?
Okay, the point is that the police, if they're not allowed to cooperate with ACE, it's
ICE.
It's a very ICE, right? It's a very, and I heard even Hochul has introduced legislation to stop the police here. So I mean, it's going to be a civil war. I feel if the police can't help us.
Fair enough, Roberta. Thank you for the call. Let's go to line 5. Joe in New Jersey. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Dominic. I'll be brief. I was a hospital security officer for 18 years. Unless you deal with mentally ill, psychotics, drug addicts, and everything you could ever imagine, unless you deal with it and fight these people and how they can snap in a second, and they get the strength of 10, 20 people. If you don't deal with it personally, you can't completely understand it. That's why some of the people, like you said, the guy was in La La Land. I'm sitting here thinking the guy's in La La Land, and you say it. They don't understand how dangerous it is.
Yeah, and they don't understand. Unfortunately, I do understand.
Yes, you do.
How strong they can get. When I consider my mother, she would be fine one minute, and then the next minute you do something she doesn't like, and if the ants on the wall, that I'm not saying this because it pains me terribly. If she saw ants on the wall that told her she needs to punch me in my head, that's exactly what would happen. And Joe, so hey Joe, I'm short on time, but tell me quickly, in the hospital when you folks had somebody at EDP, how did you deal with it?
Well, if we didn't have to call the cops, if we could handle it ourselves, I fought people on the hospital floor, out in the front lawn of the hospital.
Wow.
We've had people in there who've put their heads through the walls.
Wow.
Who ripped out their IVs and blood squirting all over the room. We had to call Edison police. It was like, unbelievable.
Right. Joe, thank you for the wonderful call. To the folks I have not been able to get to your call, I do apologize. I am back at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll do this all over again 24 hours from now or 23 hours from now, whatever it may be. Do me a favor, folks. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.